guys, this is going viral here in China, and it is hugely beneficial for NIO, and it's pretty entertaining. So you have to live in China and be on Chinese social media to sort of see this. And this is right now, it's going viral. The fact that Li Auto owners sort of have a bad reputation of being rude and not follow rules and just be kind of like I don't want to use the word idiots, but like they're not exactly polite. So it's kind of, and let me make it clear, all right? It's not, I have friends that own Li Auto, and they're very polite, and they're very fine people. And it's not everybody, all right? But this is kind of going viral here in China, and kind of being made into a joke that these guys they think they own the road, basically. So you can take a look, yeah. Stuff like parking, taking up 2 parking spots or even 3 parking spots, and it seems like there's disproportionately more Li Auto cars doing this. Also, just bad attitude, like throwing trash out the window after using the charger at a public charger, just tossing it on the side, that kind of stuff. And you also got these like blocking the ambulance, parked in front of the damn ambulance. What if there's an emergency and the ambulance needs to go and rescue somebody, right? That's absolutely crazy. The lack of consideration is just mind-boggling. And how come it's dumb again? It's always that, like, what? It's dumb again? So that kind of situation is pretty shocking, to be honest. A lot of these crazy stuff, and it's going absolutely viral here in China. And there's nothing that Li Auto themselves can do about this, because it's not like fake or anything, right? And they're not faking it. It's absolutely true. So you can't really take the video down. But it kind of reflects this kind of attitude that even some of the Li Auto sales reps might have, and that is the fact that the sales reps think, they're the boss, everybody else is shit, kind of feeling, and even they talk down on all the other brands. Whereas, well, for NIO, it's kind of like they don't ever talk shit about other brands. It's like, you compare, our products speak for themselves. We don't have to talk down on the other brands. So it's kind of, there's this joke, all right, and it's going very viral. 100 parking spots in a parking lot. How many cars can you park? And of course, the normal answer is, hey, you can park 100. But the answer is 2. You got 1 Li Auto car parked at the entrance and 1 at the exit, blocking the whole entire parking lot. So absolutely crazy, and this is like going viral here in China. But, at the end of the day, this, kind of creates this stigma that, I don't want to say the word, but a-holes perhaps, that like this brand has disproportionately more a-holes perhaps, maybe, that drive them, that are very disrespectful and rude. And of course, those behavior, that's very bad behavior, but I don't want to say all of them are disrespectful, okay? Just make it very clear. But the online impression right now, people are getting online that it's becoming a joke, right? That like a lot of like a-holes drive that car. So that kind of stigma is something you don't really want to be associated with, right? Do you want to be associated as a person that's like kind of rude and impolite? So in that sense, that's very bad, negative media attention. And perhaps customers don't want to be associated with that kind of behavior. I know I wouldn't, right? If there was a brand, and let's just not use these 2 brands, maybe there's a 3rd brand, just some random brand, and that goes very viral with lots of like bad behavior and that kind of stuff, I would want to stay away from that brand. I would not buy their car or buy their products. So that's kind of pushing people away from Li Auto, which is very, very interesting. Very, very funny to witness. And it seems like, you would think that it's not just them, right? There's got to be like a lot of bad apples with like all sorts of brands, right? Misparking, bad parking, all sorts of stuff. But then you look on the streets and what? That's not right. Why is it that Li Auto car again? Come on. And some of them are so damn crazy. They park in the middle of the damn road, blocking traffic behind, absolutely blocking the traffic. And everybody's like, what the hell, man? You can't park here. You got to move. And then they're like, what are you going to do about it, man? What are you going to do about it, huh? Kind of like that kind of attitude. And it's not just a few of them. There's actually been quite a lot of those, right? Also going in the opposite lane. I mean, yeah. And I want to make it clear, it's not all Li Auto owners, but right now, here in China, you look up Li Auto owner, bam, you get all these videos everywhere that's associated with this kind of bad behavior. And that's not good for them. That is definitely not good for them. And customers, they see this, they would not want to be associated with that. They're not going to buy the car if you will lose face if you drive that car. You drive that car right now, it's kind of it's that turning point right now. It's kind of like you're driving that car. Oh my God, you got to be a bad apple kind of a turning point. So, people might not want to be associated with that. So that's kind of very, very, very tricky for them to navigate. Yeah. It's very hard to explain why there's a disproportionately more of those owners that have this kind of bad behavior. So, that's of course bad for them, too bad for them, but good for NIO because NIO hasn't really ever had a situation like this where people say that NIO owners have bad attitude or do kind of crazy BS kind of things. So these are very, very funny videos, and I can understand, like, if you're just driving in the road and then a car just parks in the middle of the road blocking the whole damn street. That's crazy. That is absolutely nuts. And I've seen so many of these online. I'm just sharing a few of them with you, okay? And I did not film any of these. Let me make that very clear. This is all just stuff that's going viral here in China. And this is pretty interesting. We'll see how this impacts their deliveries going forward. I think that's going to cause more pain for them going forward. So that is just my personal opinion, okay? And you can make whatever you want out of the videos that I shared. All right, as always, stay safe, stay healthy, peace out.